Welcome to today's episode of podcast. We have an interesting and important topic to discuss: the legalization of marijuana. This issue has sparkled debates worldwide, with strong arguments on both sides regarding its benefits and risks. Joining me today are with Elmer and Calderon. Welcome everyone. Guess
Thanks for having us. Excited to dive into this discussion.
Yes, this is such a relevant topic. And I think there's a lot misinformation out there, so it's great to have this conversation.
Absolutely. Before we get into the details, let's talk about what this topic matters. The movement toward legalizing marijuana is growing, with countries like Canada and states in the United States fully legalizing it. Some see it as the breakthrough for medicine and economy, while others worry about addiction and public safety. So let's explore the different aspect of this issue. Let's start with the basics. What exactly do we mean by legalization of marijuana?
Marijuana legalization refers to removing laws that prohibit the use, sale, and distribution of cannabis. Some places legalize it only for medical use, while others allow recreational use as well.
Right, for example, Canada legalized marijuana national in 2008. And several US states like Colorado and California have legalized it too. These places treat cannabis similar to alcohol with regulation in place.
Good point. So let's talk about real life example. What are the some impacts we've seen in place where it is already legal?
One major impact is the economic benefit. States that Colorado have generated billion in tax revenue from marijuana sales. That money goes into public services like education and healthcare.
But at the same time, legalization has raised concerns. Some studies suggest that marijuana use among teenagers has slightly increased even though legal sales are restricted to adults.
That leads us to the bigger question. Why is marijuana legalization is happening in the first place?
One, one reason is the growing body of research showing its medical benefits. Cannabis is used to treat conditions like chronic pain, epilepsy, and even anxiety disorder.
Another factor is the public opinion shift. In the past, marijuana was seen as a dangerous drug, but now many people view it as no worse than alcohol or tobacco. This change has led to more governments considering
Consideration. Considering.
considering legalization.
Interesting, but let's not forget the impact. How does marijuana legalization affect society?
On the positive side, legalization reduces the number of drug-related arrests. Many people, especially from marginalized communities, have been imprisoned for processing small amount of cannabis. Legalization helps correct that injustice.
That's true. But there are also concerns. For example, driving under the influence of marijuana is real issue. Police forces are still developing ways to measure impairment effectively.
Great points. So if marijuana is being legalized, how can we ensure it's done responsibly? Regulation.
Regulation is key. Government need to set the restriction limit THC content in products and ensure safe production standards.
Education is also important. People need to understand the risks of overuse and the effects of marijuana on mental health. Schools and health organizations should provide science-based information.
And what about the role of the media?
Media has a big influence. It should avoid spreading misinformation instead of focus on facts, both the benefits and the risk of marijuana.
Absolutely. And individuals also have a responsibility. If you choose to use marijuana, to it responsibly and within the legal guidelines.
Wow, that's a great discussion. Let's quick summarize our key points.
We define marijuana legalization and look at example from different countries and states.
We also explored the reasons behind legalization, including medical benefits and economic gains, as well as the challenges like public safety and regulation.
And finally, we discussed solutions such as proper regulation, public education, and responsible media coverage. Now, before we wrap up, let's share our final thoughts. What's your main takeaway?
I think legalization has a lot of potential benefits, but only it's handled with a strong regulation.
For me, education is key. People need to be aware about the pros and cons to make informed decisions.
Great insight. And now, we'd love to hear from you. Our listeners, what do you think about the legalization of marijuana? Do the benefits outweigh the risk? Let's open the floor for discussion. Thank you for tuning in and see you in the next episode of podcast. Thanks guys.